Hi everyone and welcome to chapter 11, Understanding Override Mixins. We have already gone through override mixins once in one of our previous chapters where we learned that override mixin is the new way to modify Angular material components. In this chapter, we are going to one step further into override mixins and we are going to learn how to identify right tokens so that we can achieve desired look and feel of Angular material component. So we are going to start with Angular material card. So what we want to do, we want to convert our to-do card from this UI to this UI. And second thing, once we are done with this card, we will also try to change the active indicator look and feel for Angular material tabs. So by default, it looks like a line, but we want to change it to the container. So we will first start with the card. So to change the look and feel of this card, we will of course use overrides mixin, but override mixin does not provide changing each and every property of a component with respect to CSS styling. So we will also learn how to safely override CSS styling so that it does not break when we upgrade Angular material to any future versions. Okay, so let's dive into the code. So I have already run the project. I have already run npm run watch lib in one terminal, and in another terminal I have already run the start command. So the project is running on 4200 port. So we have all these cards. Now we want to change the look and feel of these cards. Okay. So in the new design, we can clearly see that there are two additional properties. First is this category of the to do, and second is the image of the to do. So we will have to first accommodate these properties in our model. So let's do that. So we will first update to do interface and we will add category and image URL over here. Then we will update to do form interface so that it requires our add to do form to have two additional form controls. As you can right away see, it has started giving the error. So we will also add form controls over here. Okay, so we have added two new form controls. I will also add the predefined list of categories in the component itself. So I will keep it as very basic list for now: work, personal, home, shopping, and other. Once this is done, we will add components for category and image URL in our form dialog. For category, it will be select component, and for image URL, it will be an input component. So let's do that. So I'm going to add it just after the priority. So I will add those two fields. Okay. So for category and for image URL, I have added input. For category, I have added select. So let's import this select component. So we already have the select component, so that is fine. Now let's save all this. Okay, let's go back to our application and see the output. Okay, it is giving an error. Okay, so we need to also accommodate category and image URL in services. So let's go back to our code. Okay, as you can see, it is giving us error over here. So we will accommodate this. and we will add these two properties in the add to do functions argument, and I will give string to its type. Okay, we can see a error in app component because it requires those two properties. So we will do result dot category and result dot image URL, and yep, I think that's it. Yes, let's try to save all this and take a look at our application. Yes, it is running fine. Let's see the add dialog box. We can see the category select box and the image URL. Okay. Okay, let's first of all delete all these to-dos. We will add new to-dos. Okay. So first I will add buy milk. I'll keep the due date as tomorrow. I'll keep priority as high. I'll keep category as home, and for image URL I'm going to simply grab one image from Unsplash. Yep, I'll grab this image. I'll click on add to do. Okay, so to do has added. Now we need to restructure the UI of this card so that image is visible. So let's do that. Okay, so I am into to-do list section component.html. So in this, we are going to change the structure of this card. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the priority identification classes to card level. So earlier we had priority classes only on chip, but now I want the whole card's appearance so that it indicates the priority. So I'm going to have some classes with the card itself. Okay, so we have the class now, priority and to do priority. Next, we are going to have a delete button which will be visible on hover. So I'm going to create a button just under this card. I will give the class delete button. We will adjust the classes later on in through CSS. Okay, now I want to use mat card header component for category. So I am going to bring up the mat card header structure. So as you can see, mat card header, and in that I'm using mat card subtitle. Don't worry about this warning. We will import that component later on. Actually, let's try this. So Angular language service is giving a suggestion to import the component. So I'm going to click on it so that it will import it in the class file. Okay. Next, we are going to have the image uh, within the mat card content, and with the mat card content I'm going to also apply the class of card content, to do content, and for image I'm going to use mat card image directive. So inside mat card content I will place the image. Now we already have a to do header class over here, so I'm going to uh, restructure this to do header. So first let me remove this. We will also not need the divider. Instead of that, I am going to simply keep the checkbox just below the image, and we will also not need to do details because we are going to move this date into mat card footer. So I'm going to remove all this. and after checkbox I'll keep the chip to show the priority, and for date I'm going to have a new component called mat card footer, and in with mat card footer I'm going to show the due date. Let's import this mat card footer. Okay, let's save all this. I'm going to format this. Okay, let's take a look at the output. Okay, it is saying that mat card header is not a known element. Okay, but we imported those, but yes, but we need to save those. Okay, as you can see, image is showing up, category is showing up, delete button is also there, footer is also there, but styling is not yet implemented. So it's time to implement the styling. Okay, so let's go back to our code. I will remove this mat divider because it is not being used now. Okay, now for this card, let me go back to the desired output. As you can see, there is a little bit of change in the border radius. I have kept it intentionally to show the usage of overrides. So let's first implement the shape change, and for shape change we can use token of card override mixing. Actually, let me open up the card component over here. I'm switching to version 20 because we are using version 20. Okay, let's go to card, and in styling you can see there are lots of tokens. Okay, but it is very confusing and uncertain that which token to use in which scenario. So that is the main goal behind this chapter. We are going to learn how to identify the right token. Okay, so our goal is to change the border radius of the card. Okay, now if we take a look at our applications output, and if we take a look at this card overrides token, it is, we don't have any token for radius. Okay, so how do we know that whether any of this token relates to border radius or not? So there is one simple way. What you can do, just go to your output, inspect your component. Okay, I'm going to pin this to right. Okay, let me zoom in a bit. Okay, so this is mat card. If we go into computed, okay, some border radius is being applied, as you can see over here, border left radius and border right radius. Let's see from where it is coming. So as you can see over here, mat MDC card is a base class applied using Angular material. We have not added this class, but at component level these classes are being added. Okay, and you can see it has some basic properties like display, flex direction and box sizing set. With that, it has also set background color, border radius and box shadow. Now as you can see over here, for border radius, we are interested in border radius. What it is doing, it is reading value from variable. First it is reading value from variable called hyphen hyphen mat hyphen card hyphen elevated hyphen container hyphen shape. So it is reading that value, and as a fallback it is reading value from mat sys corner medium. So mat sys corner medium is a system level token. We have already covered this in one of our past chapters. So those are generated when we include Angular materials theme using SCSS. So the thing to note over here is, first it is trying to read the value from this variable mat card elevated container shape. So this is nothing but the token of override mixing. So let me try to edit this. So as you can see, mat card elevated container shape. So mat card is the prefix and elevated container shape is nothing but name of the token. Let's see if we have this token in styling tab. So I have copied this elevated container shape. I'm going into card. Yes, we have elevated container shape. So now you know how to identify the token for overrides mixin in Angular material. So we can simply give value to elevated container shape and our shape of the card should be changed, right? Okay, let's do that now. So I am into to-do list section.component.scss. In that, for to-do card, I am adding couple of properties. So first I'm making position relative. We are going to need that position relative because we will be absolutely positioning the delete button. That's why I'm giving some extra padding because I want to give inner color to content also. If you take a look at our design, there are two colors. First is background color of card and second is background color of content. So I'm giving some padding so that both colors are nicely visible and there is some gap between card and its content. So that's why I'm giving this padding 4 pixel. And note that to do card class is already applied in the card. Okay, this I'm not directly modifying styles in the Angular materials mat cards class. Like if we take a look at the developer tools, we have many classes applied over here, right? For example, mat MDC card. So do not change or do not use this class mat MDC card because in future in when upgrading Angular material or Angular material team can change these class names at any point of time. And if the class name is changed, your changes will break, correct? So do not use this class. Instead, create your own class and add those classes in component and apply the styles on those classes. So we have done the same. What we are doing, we have already added to do card class and we have added some styles. Okay, let's save this and let's see if this elevated container shape is actually applying the border radius or not. Okay, okay, so I am again inspecting it. So now you can see for border radius, it is reading from mat card elevated container shape and it has 16 pixel value. So what we are doing actually, we have applied matsys kernel large value. So I'm reading the system tokens value itself. You can give any other value if you need, but I am simply using this token so that you are aware how to read the tokens value inside overrides mixin. So border radius is now coming from mat card elevated container shape. Let's also see in the computer tab. So earlier it was 12 pixel, now it is 16 pixel. Okay, so now you have the idea how to find the correct token for the overrides mixin. Okay, okay, let's move on. We have many more changes to do. Now what I will do, I will apply the background color for the card based on its priority. So for higher priority, it is reddish color. For medium, it is light purple, and for low, it is light gray. So earlier we used to apply color only on chips. Now we need to apply color on whole card. But before that, let's adjust this image, right? Because it is not looking good. So for image, there are not many override tokens available. So we need to apply custom styling. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place a simple CSS to adjust the styling of this image. Okay. So for 2D image, I'm giving max height of 200 pixel, object fit cover, and rest of the styling are pretty much explanatory. And I am applying grayscale filter when the card is marked as completed. So let's save this. Okay, so at least image is little bit better now. It has a nice border radius. Okay, and if we mark it as completed, the image is grayish thanks to the grayscale filter. Okay, now it's time to adjust the colors, delete button, and the also date layout. We need to make all these changes. Okay, let's go back to our code. Let's first apply the colors. So I'm going to remove all this for priority color, and I'm going to add. Okay, so what is going on over here? So for each of priority color, let me show you the priority color map. This is it. So for low, medium and high, I have defined three properties: outline, background and foreground. So for outline color, okay, outline color is not needed as of now. For background color, I am using that background color as an elevated container color. So elevated container color is the right token to change the background color of card. Again, let's see how to identify it if you don't know. Okay, I'm going to go back to the browser and mat card. You can see the background color in computed, and you can see same as border radius, it is also coming trying to read from a variable called mat card elevated container color, and it is falling back to mat sys surface container low. So this is the token name elevated container color to change the background color. We can also verify this in the styling step of card component. We have that available. So for our code, we can simply override it. So elevated container color is coming from the colors map, and for due date, which is at the bottom, I want that color to match with the background. You can see over here. So I'm using the foreground color on the date. Okay, so let's save this. Let's go back to our output. Okay, you can see color is being applied. Even on the date, color is being applied, right? Okay, let's move on to next set of styling. Now for delete button, we are going to apply some simple styling. We are going to absolutely position it on the right, and we are going to show it only when it is hovered. So I'm going to copy some simple styles for delete button, which I have already written. Okay, so absolute position, I have adjusted the coordinates accordingly. I'm giving a background color, and when I'm dragging and dropping the card, I'm hiding it using display none, and I'm showing it only when the user is hovering over the card. So let's see that. Okay, you can see the delete button is visible only when it is hovered, and also it is not visible when we are dragging, right? So delete button is done. Okay, we want to apply some styling on this header. I want to adjust the spacing around it. Again, for this also we don't have any tokens available, so we need to apply manual styling. So we have already added to do header class on the mat header component, as you can see over here. So we will just apply the basic CSS on to do header. Okay, so I already have the custom styling available with me. Okay, so I have applied padding bottom, uh, background color and border radiuses. So I'm going to save this. So actually mat card header and mat card content, they both are going to set the whole box for us. So if I go to the design again, you can see this whole box, right? So mat card header and mat card content, they both are going to set the whole container look and feel for us. So that's why we need to apply this top left and top right border radius to mat card header, and we will apply bottom left and bottom right border radius to mat card content. Okay, so next is that, let's do that. So for card content, we already have applied to do content class with the card content. So I'm using Angular material system token. You can use any value as you like, and I'm going to save this. Now let's take a look at the output. So you can see the background color is now system surface low or token, correct? One more change remaining is the alignment of this date and the spacing around the date. So let's do that. So for date, we have already given to do footer class in the mat card footer, so we can use that. So I'm going to save this. Let's take a look at the output. Yes, we have a nice spacing around it and it is aligned in center, correct? Now for chip, what I want to do, I want to change its text color, any chip, whether it is high priority, low priority or medium priority. I want to take the color, the primary color. Okay, because I want to showcase the chip overrides mixin. That's why I'm taking this example. You can see over here for medium it is taking the medium. Okay, and if you see carefully, the outlines color is also a little bit lighter compared to the original chip. So let's do that. So let's inspect again. To identify the right tokens, we are going to inspect it. So first we want the text color of the label. So for label, going into this span, and you can see the color is coming from mat chip label text color variable first, and it is falling back to sys on surface variant token. So now you know the token name is label text color. Let's verify this in chip styling tab. Yes, we have label text color, so we are going to use that. And next for border color, let's go to mat chip. Okay, we don't have any border applied over here. Maybe a border is coming from some inner content. Okay, border is coming from a pseudo element, a before pseudo element. It looks like that. Let's see. Border width. Yes, it is coming from pseudo element, and as you can see over here, it is reading, first reading from chip outline width, and border radius is also coming from chip container shape radius. So you know how to find the right token. So this outline width should be the perfect token for us. Let's go to styling tab and verify it. Yes, outline width is there. And for color, border color, we have chip outline color. So we are going to use this outline color token. Let's verify it. Yes, we have the outline color token. Okay. So now we know we need two tokens, label text color token and outline color token. So let's use that and override the colors of priority chip. Okay. I'm going to code. Okay. I'm using chip overrides mixin over here. And then I'm using label text color and I want it to take the primary color. And for outline, I am using outline variant. Okay, I'm going to save this. Let's take a look at the out. As you can see, the outline color is changed and the text color is also changed, correct? Fine. Now for due date, I want some more fixes. I want to fix the mat icon size and the font size of this text. So let's do that. This is optional change just to make the uh, date look much better and less prominent than other text. Okay, so the text size is little bit reduced now, and the icon size is also little bit reduced. You can change it however you want. So this is how our card looks like. There is one more change we need, which is the gap between footer and the content. So what we are going to do, for to do content, we can simply apply some margin, okay, or we can simply give some padding. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, let's do that. So for chip, okay, we already have chip priority container, we can utilize that. Let's go back to our code. Okay, Until now we have not created that class, so let's create that. And I'm going to apply margin top of 8 pixel and margin bottom of, let's say, 16 pixel. Let's save this, take a look at the output. Okay, it is not taking, okay, it is taking the margin top but not margin bottom. Reason is Angular material has already a predefined style applied, that the last child of mat card content will have margin bottom of 0. This is according to their material 3 style guidelines, but we are changing the look and feel. So I think it's okay to apply the margin bottom. So I'm going to give more weightage to our margin. So I'm going to apply important to our margin. Okay, now it is looking fine. So we saw how we converted the whole to-do card from this to this, and we learned how to identify the right token for overrides mixin and how to use it. We also learned that when it is not possible from overrides mixin, what is the safe way to change the styling. So we can add a class, create our own class, and write the styling in that class so that it does not break when we upgrade Angular material, because it is not safe to use Angular materials built-in classes because those class names can be changed at any moment of time. And having said that, it is always safe to use only overrides and not to use custom CSS even with the custom classes, right? Because those like border radius, colors, those are now not aligning with the standard component design of Angular material, right? But we need to find a balance between design and the API usage. So this is the best way to have a custom class created and having CSS written inside it. We just need to make sure that those CSSs are not breaking when we upgrade Angular material. So that's it for this mat card component. Okay, so next we are going to take a separate example, rather a small example of Angular material tab, and I am going to show you with just using overrides mixin, we can change the look and feel of active indicator. So we want the tab to change from this to this. So let's do that. So we will apply the learning which we did from Angular material card. Okay, so I already have this project running up on Stack Blitz. Okay, this is a simple example of Angular material tab. In first I have stretch tab false, and for other this is the default tab behavior. So all the tab heading are taking equal width. Okay, now we want to change these active indicators, first of all height, color, right, and everything, because we just don't want this single line, we rather want a full background color. So I have already applied custom indicator tab group class over here for in both the tab group, and I have created a style sheet over here, and I'm importing this style sheet in our main styles file. Okay, so whatever styles we write, it will be applied. Now let's first try to find out the right tokens for height. Okay, so let's inspect this. Okay, active indicator is just a line. Yes, this is the line, and you can see over here it has, yes, it is coming. It has border color, border top width, and border radius, and those three have the respective system tokens for override mixin. So for border color, it is active indicator color. For border top width, it is active indicator height, and for border radius, it is active indicator shape. Let's verify whether these tokens exist in our styling tab or not. So it looks like active indicator height should be used to adjust the height. So let's find out. I'm going into tabs. Yes, it is there. Let's try to use that. So I'm going to copy this inside our styling and active indicator height. Okay, I'm going to randomly give some number 60 pixel. Okay, oh yes, it is working. You can see it has taken the 60 pixel height, but we don't want 60 pixel height, right? We want it to take the height only of this tab header. So let's see how the tab header's height is coming. So let's inspect this height. Okay, for height also there is a token called container height, and by default it is falling back to 48 pixels. So I'm going to use 48 pixel for active indicator height. Okay, fine. So we have got the height right? Now let's see how to change the color. I'm again going to inside tab indicator, and this one. So it is taking the color of this border. So we can use this active indicator color token. Let's verify it. Yes, we have the active indicator color. So I'm going to use active indicator color, and I'm going to use Mixins primary container token. So Mixins primary container is a lighter color compared to primary, and which looks good as a background color. So that's why I am using it. So as you can see, the background color is changed. Okay, but there is one problem when we are hovering over it, right? The background color is not looking right. Even when the tab is in focused state, the background color is still the primary, correct? So let's try to find out those tokens. So we know this indicator color token was there. Let's see what other states does it have. Okay, it has active focus indicator color and active hover indicator color. Okay, so this is also a way to find out tokens. Just use the postfix of the token to find out the states of those token. So let's copy this active focus indicator color, and I am going to again use same color, and for active hover again same color. Okay, yes, now the hover color is adjusted, and even when the tab is focused, it is using the primary container color. Okay, mostly we have achieved the look and feel we wanted, but I still want to show you uh, one more thing. We can also change this ripple color. You can see when we click, we can see that ripple, correct? We can change that color too. So let's try to do that. So for ripple color, let's go into tokens, overrides mixin, and see if we have, yes, we have three tokens available for ripple. First is active ripple, second is inactive ripple, and third is disabled ripple. Okay, let's try to change the active ripples color in changing it to red. Okay, you can see a reddish color is being applied, right? So this is how you can apply the ripple color. Okay, but what if we want to completely hide this ripple? Okay, in that case, we can try to apply transparent. Let's see, it should work. Okay, it is partially working. Okay, let's try to add this inactive ripple color. So for both active and inactive, I'm giving transparent. Okay, so ripple is completely gone now. So you can apply active ripple color to transparent and inactive ripple color to transparent so that the ripple is completely gone. So this is just an example to show what you can achieve through overrides mixing. But actually, from user experience point of view, this is much better. But if you want to change the ripple color, you can do that. Okay. So we saw how we converted angular material tabs from just this border bottom to the whole container only through overrides mixing. I hope you liked and enjoyed this chapter. We moved one step further into overrides mixing because I thought it is very important to know that how to find out the tokens for overrides mixing. Just knowing that there is overrides mixin and there are tokens available, it can be very difficult to identify which token to use to override which property. So we can go into developer tools, inspect the element, find out which CSS variables are being used, and from that we can identify the right token to override. So that was the main goal. I hope you liked this video and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.